My friend, the NFL market has just caught fire. The Eagles, who have already made 3 trades in less than 48 hours, may be about to join forces with the New England Patriots for a massive deal with one of the league's most solid safeties, who could completely transform Philadelphia's defense. But that's not all. Another Super Bowl champion who played for the Eagles has been traded again, and there are still major rumors linking the franchise to elite pass rushers. Do you think it's over? Then hold on tight, because I'm about to reveal the behind-the-scenes look at this potential turnaround that could definitively transform the Eagles into favorites for a second Super Bowl. But first, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because what I'm about to tell you now, nobody expected. The Philadelphia Eagles have been pure dynamite since the end of the preseason. In just 48 hours, the franchise has stirred up the market with 3 impactful trades, the most talked about of which was the arrival of quarterback Sam Howell from the Minnesota Vikings. But the truth is, the Eagles aren't finished shaking up the NFL. Now the focus is on defense, and rumors point to a possible trade with none other than the New England Patriots. According to insider Ian Rappaport, the Patriots are considering moving one of their most consistent veterans, safety Kyle Dugger. For 5 seasons, Dugger was the quiet pillar of New England's secondary. The multi-million-dollar extension he signed in 2023, 4 years, $58 million, seemed like an unshakable vote of confidence. However, the arrival of a new coaching staff has changed the landscape. Insider reports indicate that Dugger is no longer seen as indispensable. This opens the door to a move that could redefine the fate of the Eagles' defense. And the math is clear. Philadelphia needs this kind of player. After the envy-inducing trade of C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Texans, a deal that involved Kenyon Green and a late draft pick, a deal that fell apart when Green was released, the Eagles were left with little confidence at the position. Reed Blankenship has proven talent, but lacks a solid partner. Enter Dugger, boasting numbers that speak for themselves. 81 tackles in just 13 games last season, and 9 interceptions in his career. He's the kind of star who can change the face of an entire defense. The strongest speculation points to a relatively low price, a 4th-round pick sent to New England. For the Eagles, it would be a steal. A starting defender ready to hit the field immediately, who would bring balance, aggressiveness, and experience to transform a good secondary into a feared unit. For the Patriots, it would be a chance to free up cap space and continue the residency process. And here's where the tension exploded. If this trade were to actually happen, the Eagles would not only strengthen their defense, but would also definitively seal the season as an absolute contender. The kind of move that separates a good-time player from a champion. But the saga doesn't end with Dugger. While rumors about safety intensify, another familiar name has returned to the Philadelphia sidelines. A player who has been an important player in the past, who has gone through ups and downs, and whose career seems to be entering another unexpected chapter. The truth is that at the frenetic pace imposed by Howie Roseman and company, no one is safe. The general manager has already proven he's not afraid to take risks, and the Eagles are setting up a chessboard where every move can change the entire championship. What seemed like a vulnerable defense could now turn into a championship wall, and if Dugger truly suits up, the entire NFC will have reason to tremble. And while the pieces are in motion, one thing remains certain. The Eagles' next big announcement could be even more explosive than anyone imagined, because in Philadelphia, negotiations never sleep. But when it comes to trades that move the needle, wait until you hear what happened to an old Eagles acquaintance. Kenny Pickett's career seems like something out of a sports drama. The twists and turns, dashed expectations, and changes of scenery that few quarterbacks face so early. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022 as a first-round pick, Pickett carried the burden of being the new face of the franchise. But fate took him to Philadelphia last season, where he took on an unexpected role, backup to Jalen Hurts during the campaign that culminated in winning Super Bowl licks. For many, it would have been a supporting role, perhaps a bit. For Pickett, it was historic. He took the field for the opening snaps of that victory, touched the turf, and etched his name in history as part of the championship squad. Not as a star, but as an active witness to a title. It felt like the beginning of a rebirth, but the NFL is relentless. In March, the Eagles decided to trade with the Cleveland Browns. In exchange, they received Dorian Thompson-Robinson and a future draft pick. For Pickett, it seemed like the perfect chance to revive his career, perhaps even compete for a starting spot. But the script turned tragic. A quadriceps injury during training camp took away his prominence. Cleveland, a pragmatic veteran, opted for Joe Flacco, and also bolstered the roster by drafting Shadur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. From promising prospect to promising prospect, Pickett's place evaporated before his eyes. And then came another twist. In a last-minute trade, Pickett was sent to the Las Vegas Raiders in exchange for a 5th-round pick in the 2026 draft. It's the 3rd time he's traded time in just 4 NFL seasons, a merry-go-round of uncertainty that finds its only recent parallel in Sam Howell's equally turbulent journey. Now, Pickett lands fans in Las Vegas to be the emergency insurance behind Geno Smith, replacing Aiden O'Connell, who was sidelined after fracturing his wrist. But the story's impact didn't stop in Cleveland. The fifth-round pick the Eagles received from the Browns was quickly reallocated. It ended up in the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs, allowing Philadelphia to move up in the draft and select linebacker Jihad Campbell 31st overall. The result? Campbell shone in training camp, impressed in the preseason, and is already competing for a starting spot alongside Zach Bond. In other words, even if Pickett was merely a passing player, his indirect effect may have shaped one of the defensive pillars of the Eagles' future. This is the cruel irony of the NFL. Some players become legends, others become bargaining chips. And Kenny Pickett, at least so far, has been more detailed as a movement discovery than a protagonist on the field. Still, his story remains open, now in Las Vegas, where perhaps he will find the stability the league has denied him thus far. And as the Pickett chapter closes in Philadelphia, behind the scenes, a new plot is already whispering. Rumors suggest the Eagles are preparing a bold, expensive move that could redefine the team's passing attack. A move that, if confirmed, could turn nightmares into reality for any defense that dares to face Jalen Hurts and company. And while Pickett makes his way to Las Vegas in Philadelphia, attention is turning to another hot behind-the-scenes rumor. The Philadelphia Eagles' aggressive offseason moves have already shaken up the NFL. After stacking quarterbacks and bolstering the secondary, it seemed like the board was set. But behind-the-scenes stories tell a different story. Hot rumors indicate that Howie Roseman, the master of negotiations, is aiming even higher. Two top-notch edge rushers capable of transforming a good defense into an absolutely devastating unit. The names? Trayvon Walker of the Jaguars and Jalen Phillips of the Dolphins. If even one of them lands in Philadelphia, the impact will be immediate and frightening for rivals. Trayvon Walker is no bargain. The first overall pick in the 2022 draft, the former Georgia Bulldog has already lived up to expectations with elite numbers. 10 sacks in 2023, followed by 10.5 in 2024. Consistency, explosiveness, and youth. Jacksonville even exercised his fifth-year option, guaranteeing him through 2026. But here's the thing. The Jaguars spent heavily to acquire Heisman winner Travis Hunter, and now have little draft capital. It's the kind of vulnerability Roseman loves to exploit. And the speculated package to lure Walker out of Jacksonville isn't small. A 2026 first-round pick, cornerback Keely Ringo, plus one of the Eagles' several third-round picks. And to top it all off, a conditional fourth-round pick in 2027. High cost? Yes, but viable. Walker's contract is manageable. $11.8 million this season and $15.1 million next year. And don't forget, Walker comes from Georgia, and the Eagles have a historical obsession with players from that school. The fit is almost natural. On the other side of the rumor mill is Jalen Phillips, a monstrous physique, possessing a rare blend of explosiveness and refined technique. In Miami, he established himself as one of the most feared pass rushers in the AFC, but the Dolphins are under pressure from the salary cap and may consider offers. This is where Philadelphia emerges as the perfect candidate. Imagine Phillips or Walker joining a front that already features Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Hassan Reddick. It would be like adding dynamite to an already passionate meteor. Meanwhile, young linebacker Jihad Campbell continues to steal the show. Drafted by the Eagles in an indirect move linked to Kenny Pickett's departure, Campbell is showing instincts, speed, and a rare quirk. What started as hope has turned into real excitement. He's ready to fight for a starting spot in his first season. If Philadelphia could line up Campbell alongside a defensive line bolstered by Walker or Phillips, we'd be looking at a defense built to terrorize quarterbacks for years to come. And this is where the tension reaches a climax. The deadline for roster cuts is approaching, the phones are ringing off the hook, and the rumor mill is getting louder. Fans know Roseman isn't one to wait. When he sees an opening, he pounces. Can the Eagles turn the rumor with the Patriots into a real trade for Kyle Duggar, use Kenny Pickett's turbulent past as a springboard for new achievements, and even surprise the NFL by bringing in a monster like Trayvon Walker or Jalen Phillips to bolster the defense? Or is this all just smoke and mirrors before the season starts? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.